Confusing in troubled times? You bet. Disease and terrorism reported 24/7. This is a shrinking world. What happens halfway around the globe affects us personally and immediately. The idea that delusional people can be influenced by internet propaganda and kill the innocent is nothing new until it strikes home, right here in Canada. Other parts of the world live with terrorism, but it takes an event closer to home to force us to remove our rose-colored glasses. Canada has just witnessed 2 acts of what may be considered delusional terrorism. An unorganized attempt to disrupt, drawing our attention to the vulnerabilities that we all know exist and are all too easy to ignore. Canada has reacted with a strong display of patriotism, a unity and strength of purpose, a conviction to our way of life that is reassuring. Politicians with different convictions are standing together with a unity that is inspiring, an affirmation of Canada's real aspirations. Canadians are diverse, a nation of people who, when pushed, appreciate their privilege. This Remembrance Day, we can relate to incidents very near in time. They beg us to remember. 2 soldiers have given their lives in the same manner as soldiers have given their lives for generations. International news has an immediate impact. Terrorism and disease weigh heavily on our nation's psyche. Our nation is aware and concerned, and we are uneasy. Canada is developing a self-worth and pride that is growing unmistakably. This is the positive and constructive result of a more inclusive understanding of our relationship to the rest of the world. Just as with 9/11, Canadians feel a reluctance to move outside comfort zones. This Christmas, I believe Canadians will stay at home, just as they did in 2001, and treat themselves to the comforts of family and friends. And I say, why not? Why not appreciate what we have and who we are? And with that, here's the Regal Imports News. This is the Regal Imports News for November 2014. As mentioned in my preamble, I believe political concerns will keep Canadians closer to home this holiday season. Without meaning to be disrespectful, I will quote the mayor of Chicago, who said, "Never let a crisis go to waste." Taking this statement into consideration, it appears to be an appropriate time to be patriotic and sell Canadian. When consumers stay at home, it usually leads to a more prosperous gift-giving season. Although I am not predicting a record-breaking season, I do think that current events will lead to less travel and more spending at home. Forecasters are putting forward opposing predictions for the Christmas season. In the United States, the National Retail Federation is predicting a sales increase of over 4%, but with the qualifier that most of this increase will come from the more affluent sector. The consulting firm of PwC disagrees and predicts a drop in seasonal sales of 7%. PwC agrees that there is a large divide between the have and the have-nots with regards to spending habits. In Canada, I believe that current events will greatly influence shopping habits, and I tend towards the more positive prediction, barring any unforeseen occurrences. I don't think Canada suffers from the U.S. Black Friday frenzy, and I believe that attempts to bring blatant consumerism to retail in Canada will fail. Canadians are different than Americans, and Canadians don't respond as well to the hype. Canadians will be looking for more lasting value this year. Specific to the diamond trade, the De Beers site was smaller in October, but contrary to predictions, De Beers raised rough prices slightly. With uncertainty, availability of bank credit, and a slowdown in polished diamond sales, De Beers is purposely displaying confidence. De Beers needs to put on a brave front when faced with a quieter than expected Asian market and a European economy still teetering on the brink of recession. In truth, diamond stability is bounced precariously on the American recovery. October saw inaccurate reports that Indian dealers were dumping polished diamonds. Having been in India last month, I can assure you that these reports are false. Nonetheless, there are soft spots in diamond pricing, and they have been brought to the fore in the most recent Rappaport diamond price list. Better color VVS and VS goods dropped between 2 and 4%. In general, polished diamond prices have dropped considerably from their highs several months ago, but the weakness in the Canadian dollar has minimized these price changes in Canada. However, you will notice some price changes on our Regal price list. Just as an aside, Regal Imports is showing optimism in the current market by coming into the season with our largest stock position ever. The current credit crisis is forcing Indian dealers to spend less money on rough in an attempt to reduce their credit lines. Indian cutters are beginning to purchase and manufacture more small-sized diamonds. Smaller diamonds are more labor-intensive and will keep their workers busy while they reduce inventory levels and expenses. This move towards the manufacture of smaller diamonds could create a shortage of larger polished stones. However, I expect that polished prices will remain relatively stable into the new year. Banks in Dubai are trying to take advantage of the credit squeeze in India and Europe by offering more credit to diamond companies operating in Dubai. They hope to strengthen the position of Dubai as a diamond superpower. I loved it when I heard one commentator describe the new diamond hierarchy in one short sentence: Shanghai, Mumbai, Dubai, or bye-bye. And that just about sums it all up. So without going into redundant detail, that's the Regal Imports news for November, and I thank you very much for watching.